Hi, everybody. It's Tara from Sojourn Psychology, and I am here with one of my American colleagues. This is James Hawkins, Dr. James Hawkins, and he is a licensed practicing counselor, licensed professional counselor down at the Joshua Center in New
hmm
Mexico, which is
No,
very exciting.
Arkansas.
Arkansas. So Arkansas is a whole state.
Yes.
Okay, there you
That's
go.
all
I'm
right.
learning something new. I thought that Arkansas was in New Mexico.
I love it. Not many people do know much about Arkansas. There's not much to put us on the map besides Walmart, I guess.
Okay, so Walmart originated in Arkansas?
That's right. That's where the headquarters is. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's really interesting. Okay, cool. Cool. Okay, so something new that us Canadians are learning from James here today. And James does all sorts of cool things. So he's an emotionally focused therapist like myself. He's a supervisor. He's a trainer in training. He also has a podcast with one of our colleagues, Ryan Rana, The Leading Edge in Emotionally Focused Therapy. So I'll put some contact information for James down below in the description. And when I asked James to describe a little bit about himself, he says he's a person who studies human behavior. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what does that mean, James?
Yeah, man. I'm the person, I'll watch the news or I'll watch a TV show, and I'm really trying to watch how people are reacting and what really makes people tick. And in today's culture and time, and maybe this is one of the things we'll talk about, like even in some of the underneath the content, I'm trying to hear like what's really motivating this person. What are the underlying aspirations of this person? What's making them respond the way that they are? And like, do we really speak to each other, or do we speak at each other? And I think we do more speaking at than we do speaking to.
That's beautiful, James. And I really appreciate how you're speaking about looking at movies and music and
hmm
all these different things. So one of the ways that we can access James's podcast is on Spotify, and I've recently started having a Spotify account, and it blows me away to listen to old music and new music and listen for the story of communication.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Hmm.
because music is a way, usually what artists and the writers are trying to do is to convey something that's deep down within the recesses of their souls in this way of imagery and even through the musicality itself. So I was working with a client the other day. No, I'm sorry, a supervisee, and she's like, "Help me understand why we do repetitiveness in EFT." And I said, "Well, think about it like learning a song. When you first hear a song, you don't learn the words and all the lyrics and the verses and the bridges. You don't learn that. What you learn first is if the melody and the musicality catches you, and then it pulls you in. Then because you really like it, then you stay with the words. Then you begin to take the words in, and then like a third time around, you begin to take in the deeper understanding of the words and the music together. And that's what we try and do in our human experience. It's like sometimes we have to have repetitive, like something triggered my body there. What is it telling me? We go back, we kind of get the content of it a little bit more, and then we begin to make it sense and organize that felt kind of like where it hits us in our felt emotion. But then we begin to make of what's the story and the messages we tell ourselves along with that, and then we put it together in an organized whole. If we're healthy, the reason why many of us as therapists, while we're in business, is our clients don't do that. They just get hit and they get triggered and bombarded by felt experiences and by messages, and they don't make a coherent whole out of it. And so that's where we come alongside them to help put their experience together.
Yeah, I really love how you say that. And in emotionally focused therapy, we really do talk a lot about music and dance. And Sue Johnson has been a really great inspiration for us, just honing in on that. But I also like to, like, this idea of repetition is just such a simple truth.
Mm-hmm.
And whether it's in therapy or for me or you. So I was just doing a consult with a colleague before our call here and noticing the repetitive pain in ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have this repetitive pain. And when we have somebody who's willing to hang in there with us and slow down. So for you and I, we see these clients that we care so much about stuck in that pain. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
let's stick with the repeat. Let's understand why this is resonating for you. That's
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. That's beautiful, James.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing I'm trying to focus in now. In another aspect of my EFT development is be okay with repetition, being okay with repetition. And I think of it as a form of therapy in and of itself. It's like massaging a body part that has a kink in it or a knot in it. You don't just touch it one time and the knot goes away. It needs repetitive massage sometimes. That's the place where there's been some type of injury or inflammation, and it needs repetitive touch.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. That makes sense. And if you go to like a sports therapist or
Hmm.
something for that injury, they're not gonna, treat your shoulder by rubbing your foot. I mean,
That's
maybe
right. That's right.
maybe a reflexologist would try it, but it's like to treat the injury, and that's the same thing with the emotion. So getting really specific about the pain and massaging it, or just being present with it, getting really slow. That's beautiful.
And can I
Yeah,
bring in another part you just said to Tara? So maybe this is the theme for this one is repetition, right, in therapy.
sure.
Because I
Yeah.
like what you said, repetitive pain. Repetitive pain needs repetitive comfort. Because you
Yes.
nailed it. If it's been something they've had thousands of reps in their life of rejection, being misunderstood, abandoned, those types of things, then that's a repetitive pain that's gonna need repetitive experiences of comfort and connection.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Yeah, and when I talk about trauma, a metaphor that I like to use is like when you bite your cheek. So if you bite your cheek, your tongue keeps going over and checking it out over and over. It repeats, and it's just sort of a simple scientific metaphor of like, this is what our body does.
Hmm.
Something's injured, whether that's physically or emotionally, and on a very cellular level, we just keep trying to go and check it out.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's good. I
So
like that.
permission for repetition.
The permission for repetition, and it's a necessary thing because they've had repetitive pain.
Exactly, exactly. Good. Okay. Okay, let's pause there with this one, and then we'll come back and chat about something else. So thanks, James.
Thank you.